So with the Democrats taking the Senate, they are now going to move ahead with a vote on a gay marriage bill. Now, what is the purpose of a gay marriage bill? There is no purpose to a gay marriage bill. Obergefell has already been ruled upon.
Yeah, no, totally, dude. Yeah, because like the abortion thing didn't happen like recently. You know what I mean?
And a simple gay marriage bill is not even a constitutional amendment. So it's not even above and beyond the Supreme Court ruling. The Supreme Court ruling is still the law. If the Supreme Court ruling were overturned, a quick majority in the Senate could quickly overturn this law. Okay, but the idea here is that you're going to get all the Republicans on record as to whether they support or do not support same-sex marriage. Now, let me just put this out there for the Republican senators. If you vote in favor of the idea that society has an obligation to recognize male-male or female-female dyads in the same way that society has an obligation to recognize male-female, you should not be in the Republican Party.
Yeah, this is a winning message, dude. I love that. I love Ben Shapiro. Last week, this motherfucker was saying, like, we need to focus on policy. Trump lost everybody because he was too me. And he cared too much about culture war issues. It's like, bro, what are you doing? This is what I'm saying, dude. People are like, I'm hungry, okay? Gas is expensive. And Ben's like, we need to make sure that, like, gay people, are in a state of disarray, okay? That the Supreme Court could, like, rule on Obergefell like they did with Roe v. Wade. That's crazy to me. If he was smart, he would just turn this around and be like, every Republican, doesn't matter which way they fucking vote, every Republican should be out there talking about what their methods of dealing with inflation is. Say this gay shit is a distraction. At least back in the day, they were like smart enough to say that. Republicans would like always say, oh, the gay stuff, that's a distraction. Why are we even voting on that? That's a distraction.
You shouldn't. Okay, the reason I say this is not because I wish to shrink the size of the Republican Party. Because if the fundamental basis of human society is male-female child,
inherent problem. Here's the inherent problem with this man literally was complaining that Trump wasn't appealing enough to moderates last week, and now he's saying this. Here's the inherent problem with the Republican culture war. That's just it. That's good enough.
The same way that society has an obligation to recognize male-female, you should not be in the Republican Party. You shouldn't. Okay, the reason I say this is not because I wish to shrink the size of the Republican Party. Because if the fundamental basis of human society is male-female child, and you think that by passing a law you can change that reality, you do not belong in government.
For the record, if that law didn't, that law is not going to change reality. Reality is going to happen regardless of what Ben thinks, okay? That law is just going to make it more normal for a lot of people, okay? That law is going to offer comfort to millions of Americans that don't have to feel like their civil liberties will be taken away on a moment's notice by a fucking Supreme Court that they didn't even vote for, okay? That's it. That's literally it. It is so unrelated to the existence of human beings. Like, it is so innocuous. It's just nothing, right? He wants to make a bigger deal out of that because he thinks that's a winning political message. He's wrong. They've refused to understand, like, bro, you lost the gay shit, okay? They're everywhere, brother. He wouldn't be chirping this hard if that normalization didn't actually lead to more people being more understanding. That's why he's fucking fighting this war.
This is a very simple proposition. Men and men are not the same as a man and a woman who are capable of becoming one flesh and producing a child. This is not difficult stuff. Many Republicans will be tempted to vote for this simply to avoid the conflict.
Yeah, bro. Like, for example, if your balls don't work or if you got no ovaries, right? Like, you're not technically recognized as a marriage, as a real marriage. Like, you could be cis, right? But if you got no fucking semen in there, if it's not working, you get a vasectomy, dude. The moment you get a vasectomy, the government comes in and says your marriage is null and void. That's how it works. It's not difficult stuff. Hypothetically, let's say, a marriage is between a man that is working on the pool and my wife as I watch. Hypothetically speaking, that is how I have gone about my marriage personally. Let's say hypothetically. Hypothetically speaking, I can't have kids. Therefore, my marriage is null and void.
So that people don't yell at them. Oh my gosh, you're not respecting love is love. Now, first of all, the love is love argument was always bullcrap.
Love is love. Hypothetically, love is not love. Like, for example, my wife, does not love me. Okay, Ben Shapiro on November 10th said, first political party to sanity wins. For Republicans, that does not mean squishy policy. It means fighting the culture wars that must be fought while governing properly. It also means not raiding the local homeless shelter for candidates. I love that he said this, and then 4 days later or 5 days later, he literally said, you know, Republicans need to make sure that they do not vote for gay marriage. That's good, yeah. Here is Josh Hawley, another Elizabeth Warren for the Republican Party type, talking.
I think that this election was the funeral for the Republican Party as we know it. The Republican Party, as we have known it, is dead. And voters have made that clear. And in particular, the folks who did not vote for Republicans in this last election were independent voters, working class independent voters, folks who voted for President Obama once upon a time, folks who then voted for President Trump but stayed home this time. We are not a majority party unless we can appeal to those voters.
I'm going to keep it $1.50. Okay? The Democratic Party has untapped demographics that they have not fucking invited to come out and vote. Haven't given them a good enough reason to, and haven't made it easier, like cleared the institutional hurdles for the working poor and young people to go out and vote. The Republicans, on the other hand, are running out of the last piece of the fucking base that they have. Okay? It's crazy. Like, the only reason why this isn't like a fucking 75 plus Democrat all across the board country is quite literally that, because of Democratic malfeasance. Like, when you look at all of the voters that don't go out and vote, okay, overwhelmingly poor, overwhelmingly young. These are populations that are straight up like plus fucking 25 minimum Democratic Party voters. And the Democrats aren't even doing enough to fucking activate them. They're not doing enough to clear their structural hurdles to go out and vote. Do you think Fox forgot Trump on this 13 potential presidents graphic deliberately?
Contenders, including Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, Mike Pompeo, who we just had on, Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin. The list goes on.
Mid. No shot. Absolutely no shot. Close but no cigar. No, but like also could be kind of interesting. 0% chance. Close but no cigar. No. This is the likely one. Like, look at this fucking lineup, dude. God damn. I don't even want to see the Democratic Party's lineup because it's also stacked to the fucking... It's filled to the motherfucking brim with losers.